Hi everyone and welcome back. So today I decided to share with you a variation of a shakshuka recipe, and I'm going to show you how I make mine. It's a bit different from others, but I hope you enjoyed this variation. So the ingredients you're going to need are tomatoes, green onion, parsley, dill, cooking onion, some garlic, also some butter, cheese, some eggs. I'm using 3 eggs today. Also some rye bread. You don't have to use rye bread. You can use any kind of bread you like. White bread, you can use whole grain, multigrain. Also some all-purpose seasoning, salt, pepper, and olive oil. So that's all the ingredients you're going to need. So let's first start by cutting up some of these ingredients. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take some bread and I'm just gonna cube it. So I'm gonna make strip cuts like this. And then I'm just going to cut it into cubes like that. And that's how I make my shakshuka for about 2 people. So 1.5 pieces of rye bread and 3 eggs. And actually, while we work on the rest of the ingredients, let's go to the stove top and turn on our pan so it warms up to the correct temperature for when we're ready to cook. Okay, so for now, I'm just gonna put my pan on the highest setting and let it warm up. Once it's warmed up, we're gonna add some olive oil. Okay, so let's continue cutting. So the next thing I'm gonna cut is the onion. So I'm just gonna cut it in half, and then I cut a little bit at an angle like this. By the way, guys, if any of you own a pair of onion goggles, let me know if they actually work or not. Because as you know, you always tear up when you cut up the onion. And I heard supposedly those goggles can really help you. So let me know. So the next thing we're gonna do is take your garlic, and you can just put it through garlic press. I just grate mine. Next thing I'm gonna do is take a box grater, and I'm just gonna grate a piece of cheddar cheese. And you can do as much or as little cheddar cheese as you like, depending how much cheese you want on your shakshuka. And I'm just gonna use the large side of the grater, and I'm gonna grate it. And right after this, let's go to the stovetop and start cooking some of these ingredients. Okay, everyone, so let's add the olive oil. Let's turn down the heat to medium-high heat. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the onion. So on medium-high heat, cook the onion till it kind of starts to look transparent. And once that happens, we're gonna add the garlic. So I'm gonna leave it on medium heat, and I'm actually gonna go and start dicing our tomato. Okay, so the next thing I wanna do is dice your tomatoes. So again, something like cube shape form. So I'm just gonna cut mine in half. Cut mine like this and just make cubes. So cut up both of the tomatoes this way. So the last ingredients you want to cut is your dill, parsley, and green onion. So just finely chop it. So that's all the prep work you need to do for this shakshuka. So now we can just go to the stovetop and continue cooking there. So our onion looks pretty ready. It became more transparent in color and has a little bit of gold. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add our garlic. Cook this for 30 seconds to a minute, just so the garlic lets off some of the flavors. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna add the tomatoes and I'm gonna go up to the medium-high heat. And let your tomatoes cook down a little bit, after which we're gonna add some of the spices. And guys, it's an awesome breakfast or like a brunch idea, especially for the weekend, because it does take a little bit of time, but not too much. But it also is very filling and delicious because you do have some butter and cheese and bread, so it does fill you up quite a bit. Okay, so let's start adding our spices. I like to add this all-purpose seasoning, like I mentioned, and this has like dry onion, parsley, celery seed, and tomato powder. So add about a teaspoon of this. I just eyeball mine. I do that with most of my spices. Some black pepper as well to your taste. And of course some salt. We are gonna add more salt as we're cooking, so for now, that's just to salt up the tomatoes. Okay, so in about a minute or so, I'll add the bread. And when it cooks a little bit and absorbs some of the juices from the tomatoes, then we're gonna add some butter, just so the bread is a little bit more crispied up after that. Okay, so I think we can now add our bread. Let's cook the bread a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna add a piece of butter. It's like about a tablespoon of unsalted butter. And I'm gonna turn up my heat a little bit higher so we can crispy the bread up a little bit with the butter. Okay, so after letting the bread cook up and soak up the flavors of the tomatoes and the onion, I let it crispy up a little bit on the higher heat setting. Now I brought it back down to medium-low, and you just want to spread this mixture around in like a basically single layer. And at which point you're gonna take your eggs and you're gonna start breaking them into the shakshuka. So I break mine right on top. And then I just break my yolk with a knife. And now you want to let it cook on medium to medium or medium-low, even on a low temperature, just so the bottom of your shakshuka doesn't burn. So cook it on on low temperatures, and give it some time to cook up. And you can always do this a little bit so the egg kind of hits the bottom of the frying pan. This way it cooks a little faster. And once the egg starts to cook up a little bit, we're gonna add our cheese on top. Let the cheese melt and your shakshuka will be ready. I think at this point, let's add our cheese so it starts melting right with the egg. So now just continue cooking it till the eggs are cooked enough, and then you can plate it. Okay guys, so let's just place it on a plate. It does break up a little bit, so I'm just gonna place it like this and put some greens on top. Okay, so sprinkle your dill, parsley, and green onion mixture right on top. If you wanted to, you could also put some Tabasco sauce on top if you like spicy, or ketchup. Okay guys, so here's the final product. So this is my way of shakshuka. So you can see all the ingredients at the beginning of the video, and I hope you try it out. It's a pretty healthy but a filling breakfast, or like I mentioned, lunch that you can enjoy with your family. And thank you so much for watching. Like always, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye!